Welcome to the chaos. Pull up a seat. It's Doug, Todd, and Brandon bringing that ADHP heat. Attention deficit, hyperactive politics on blast. We jump topic to topic, cause the news moves fast. Yeah, we break it all down, what's wild in the world. From headlines to hot takes, every thought gets unfold. ADHP, come ride the wave. Where the politics pop and the tangents misbehave. ADHP, you know the vibe each week. We rant, we laugh, then we ask, what's geek this week? So buckle up tight, it's a beautiful mess. 3 brains, 1 show, and 0 attention left. The DHP, yeah, we keep it unique. Politics first, then what's geek this week?
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to support the podcast. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. Your star ratings and reviews help others discover this podcast, so take a moment to share your thoughts. They appreciate you, and let's keep the conversation going. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to ADHP. That's Attention Deficit Hyperactive Politics. Now, will you please welcome your hosts, Doug, Todd, and Brandon.
Thank you again, Mr. President. But I thought we discussed bringing a little more energy to the introduction this week. I mean, you got that theme song coming in hot and heavy, and then you're just kind of flat, Mr. President. So next time maybe give it a little more oomph. But I thank you anyways, and thank you everybody for listening. We're back here again with ADHP. I'm Doug here as always with Todd and Brandon. Brandon is a little under the weather. His voice has betrayed him, so he might try to speak, but we've let him know that he doesn't have to. He is here, though, if you don't hear from him.
I am. I just...
don't do it. Don't do it. It hurts. It hurts me.
Yeah,
it hurts my ears.
it hurts my throat.
He was channeling the 12th man yesterday.
I was.
Along with everybody else in my neighborhood, because it sounded like a war zone yesterday.
Oh, yes, it did.
Of course, if you're not in Seattle, the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl, defeating the Los. I almost called them the St. Louis Rams because I'm an old fart. But the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim have been defeated. The Seahawks beat the 49ers and the Rams, and now they're headed to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in franchise history. Pretty exciting time for the Seahawks. We get a shot at revenge over the hated New England Patriots.
Fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, everyone in Seattle and everyone who's a Seahawk fan deserves an absolute drubbing of the Patriots after that last Super Bowl. Yes, so hopefully we get that, and I think we just might.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll be at someone's house watching the game with everybody else, but I'm gonna be there waiting for the opening musical act and the halftime show, and of course all the commercials.
Yes, the commercials are what Todd lives for.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of the times when we get those commercials, they're going to be a trailer for a movie that I want to see, or it's just a funny commercial that has a celebrity in it.
And we're definitely anticipating some big trailers during the Super Bowl, 1 or 2. I don't know if you have any info on that this week, but maybe next week, Todd, because we're still 2 weeks away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I haven't.
Maybe next show you can give us a preview of what we should expect to see as far as trailers.
I'm gonna look to see if I can find any information as far as what commercials we're expecting to see during the game. I'm probably just gonna end up finding them on YouTube once they've aired on TV.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So that does it for the good news. That's it for the good news in the world for this week. we've got a lot of bad news for you
Yeah.
if that's your bag.
In the U.S., it's all bad.
How the fuck are we in this situation where less than 2 weeks later we're doing another show where we're talking about American federal agents assassinating an American citizen on the streets of the United States?
Because
Like this, it again.
we've crossed the Rubicon. We're over that. We're a fascist. We're a fascist country.
Yeah.
This
There's
is
no
this
two
is what
ways
we do
around it.
now. This is just what we do now.
This is what
Apparently,
fascist countries do. Yes.
because I mean, I'm assuming everyone listening to this has seen the video of Alex Pretti and the absolute execution that it was.
I don't like the word execution because it adds validity to as if he did something wrong to deserve it. He was murdered.
Well,
He
I
was
mean,
murdered. He
I,
was
I
murdered for no reason.
I call it an execution because a bunch of federal agents held him down while they shot him.
Oh,
Like
I
I
agree.
I call it an execution not because it has any moral authority, but because of it was the authority exercising their power in a lethal manner, and I call that an execution.
That's fair.
Um, and it's an unjust execution, absolutely. But that's the thing, is it was not a self defense. It was not any kind of self defense. It was not. This is the thing that really gets me, is the initial response from the government regarding this. Just like with Renee Good, they're immediately come out before any facts are clear and have a slam dunk. Here's the answer. Here's what really happened before anybody really knows anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came out here and they claim that Homeland Security Christine Ohm claimed Pretti attacked officers. She claimed that he was brandishing a gun. She claimed that he was an assassin who tried to murder federal agents, and it looks like he wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. For anybody that's seen the video, is that what happened?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. In fact, the video I saw, I don't know which ones you guys saw, but the video I saw shows somebody pulling his gun out of his belt,
And then they shoot him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't even have his gun out; it was still holstered.
He never brandished the weapon, and he had been disarmed at the time he was shot. There's no other way around this, and that is why I think this feels like a tipping point. Like even more so than Renee Good did, more so than the other 7 people that ICE has killed, or 5 to 7 people. It's 7 to 9 people that ICE has killed since the start of the year. We're very familiar with Renee Good and Alex Pretti, which are the 2 white victims. There are 5 or 7 other victims of color. The fact that I don't even know the exact number kind of tells you something about the media coverage of this. But I think the reason why this one is such a turning point is it is clearly, there's no vehicle involved. There's no potential of they were a target that ran away. They did not approach the officers first. They were not antagonizing. They were defensive. He put himself between a woman that an ICE officer had just shoved to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and the ICE officer. And I'm sorry, I'm calling them ICE officers. They're Border Patrol agents in this case. And I think that's why this is a turning point, is because it is just so obviously, undeniably indefensible. And we do now know, breaking news, that Bovino, the Border Patrol commander in charge of the Minneapolis, the mission to invade Minneapolis, essentially the attack on Minneapolis, he's been demoted and reassigned. It sounds like, is that what we're hearing?
That's what I saw. I don't know for sure if it's fact, but that's what I saw when I looked for it on Facebook. There was a bunch of people said that he had been demoted, and he's going to retire, is what it sounds like.
So I got a couple stories on that. We'll get to that later. But the first thing, starting with what the government said, and then now I've got Snopes. So Snopes is actually getting involved with fact-checking the government on this, which is not really, they usually fact-check articles and memes and things like that, but they're outright fact-checking the Department of Homeland Security now. So there's reportedly a video recorded in Minneapolis on January 24th, 2026 shows a federal immigration officer searching 37-year-old Alex Pretti's body and asking, "Where's the gun?" after the shooting. Then confirming with another officer that someone already had removed a gun from Pretti's possession. On January, so this story, Snopes says, is true. The clip depicts one of the officers searching Pretti's body and saying, "I need scissors. I need scissors." He tells a woman standing nearby, "I'm an ENT as well, ma'am." He says, "Where?" Stopping for a moment and slightly sitting up, then continues, "Where's the effing gun? Where's the gun?" After asking the question at least twice, the officer looks up and points to his right to confirm with another officer standing at a distance next to a vehicle, "You've got the gun?" The other officer responds, "I've got the gun." So there is video of this. I don't know if you want to try and play it through the link, Todd, but we don't have to. So in short, the video showing the federal officer twice asking where's the gun was authentic and did not show signs of manipulation using AI. The video's authenticity has been confirmed by tracing it to Bring Me the News, a Minnesota-based online publication. And then they emailed Department of Homeland Security to ask if the agency had seen the video in question and whether it had any comment about the officer asking, "Where's the gun?" We also asked if DHS had said on the record whether one of its officers removed a gun before or after the shooting. A different video first shared by Dropsite News, which is Ryan Grimm's news site, which is part of Breaking Points. So that's a channel on YouTube we definitely recommend you check out, Breaking Points. And Dropsite News is a great place to get news coverage, especially anti-authoritarian news coverage. So they have a video that shows the same moment with the officer asking the question, albeit with fainter audio. Other news media outlets, including CNN and Sky News, similarly reported that the officer asked the question. So there's video investigations now of the gun being removed. The agency said in part that the incident looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. But as we now know, the gun was never pulled out until it was removed from his waistband while he was restrained by a federal officer and removed from the scene. In other words, he never posed a threat.
Of course he didn't. He never reached for his gun.
So one thing again, why this seems like a turning point, another sign that maybe it is a turning point. According to PBS News, Republicans are calling for Republican calls are growing for a deeper investigation into the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti. A number of Republicans are pressing for a deeper investigation. House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Andrew Garbarino sought testimony from leaders at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, at Customs and Border Patrol, and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, saying, "My top priority remains keeping America safe." A host of other congressional Republicans, including Representative Michael McCall of Texas and Senators Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Susan Collins of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, pressed for more information. Their statements, in addition to concern expressed from several Republican governors, reflected a party struggling with how to respond to Saturday's fatal shooting. So the Trump administration officials, again, they all cast Pretti as the instigator. But the killing has raised uncomfortable questions about the GOP's core positions on issues ranging from gun ownership to states' rights and trust in the federal government. Again, that's something that Trump has done throughout his both presidencies, is he's made Republicans completely flip-flop on their attitude towards states' rights, now towards gun ownership, among other things. But yeah, he makes every Republican be the most hypocritical they could possibly be, which in some ways is enjoyable to see, but obviously that's but a silver lining in the darkest of clouds.
Yeah. It's weird. I was watching old episodes of the X-Men animated series, and like I remember watching the show as a teenager, thinking, "Wow, that shit's wild. That this is representing, like, you know, fighting against fascism and human rights." That was that was the allegory of that show was in the comic books even. Um, and I'm watching it today with all the shit that's happening in our country, going, how is it that this went from being a representation of history to being representation of what's going to happen in the future?
To be prognostication.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at the part where we're beyond parody, and all of our dystopian literature is coming back as
Fact.
as prophecy.
Yeah.
18.
So Murkowski did call for an investigation and added that ICE agents do not have carte blanche in carrying out their duties. Collins, the only incumbent Republican senator facing re-election, excuse me, in a state that Kamala Harris won, said a probe is needed. Um, Senator Pete Ricketts, who's a staunch ally of Trump, called for a prioritized, transparent investigation. Nebraska Republican, his support for ICE funding remains the same, though. So Trump and other administration officials remain firm that their defense of the hardline immigration enforcement tactics in Minneapolis, blaming Democrats in the state along with local law enforcement for not working with them. So they're facing all the pushback, having literally the worst case scenario of why no one has ever tried this before, this strong arming of immigrants out of the country. The reason we don't ever do that is because we knew this would happen. We knew people would be killed because of it. We knew some citizens would be caught up in it. And at this point, it's quite a big deal, or quite a great deal. And yet they're pushing through and saying we have to do this. This is the only way to do it. Never mind the fact that Obama actually deported more people, and he did it without the horror, and he did it without violating citizens' rights, and he did it without killing any citizens.
When did Obama ever send agents door to door?
Right, but he
Ever.
still managed to deport more people than Trump is actually doing. Trump is just doing it in the most horrific and visible way he can.
Because no, he's also not going for all illegals. He's going for very specific groups of illegals.
Right, and he's going for anybody, any non-white
Yeah.
person that came here through a Biden or Obama program.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Obama never put kids in cages.
No, though Biden didn't end it. They certainly were treated better and given more things, but they were still in those temporary holding facilities that were fenced cages.
Although I think the kids in cage, did they continue? Didn't that get shot down real quick after it was announced because everybody rightfully lost their shit?
I think the family separation is what ended.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah.
But they were still housing full families in these, and they're in the cages. They're giant. They're like a Hell in a Cell type of cage almost, but they're still a cage. There's still people in cages.
Now, only if mankind could throw Undertaker through a
and
table.
Free our people. Yes.
And free the people. And by Undertaker, I mean Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
So James Cormer, ever the erudite and enlightened philosopher, says, if I were President Trump, I would almost think about if the mayor and the governor are going to put our ICE officials in harm's way, and there's a chance of losing more innocent lives or whatever, then maybe go to another city and let the people of Minneapolis decide, do we want to continue to have all these illegals? I think the people of Minnesota would rebel against their leadership. So he's basically just saying, like, oh, fine, we were just trying to help you.
Right. Did you guys see the video of the ICE agent who said, didn't you guys learn anything from that lesbian bitch?
Yeah, we talked I think you brought that up last week, actually, because, that was... Yeah, because that's the whole thing, is where they're like, they started using the Renee Good thing as threats to other protesters across the country. So there is definitely a chance here that the GOP is going to force a real investigation, or at least force the federal government to allow the state to do its own investigation. Like, I mean, that's really what I want, is let the state do their own investigation. They care about their constituents and what happened. Like, they will get an honest answer. They're not going to corruptly criticize the federal government because they know that if they're wrong about it, they'll get smashed down by the federal government right now. So they're going to do a fair assessment, and it's all going to be backed up by evidence, and we've all seen the evidence anyways. So getting back to Mr. Bovino and the controversial Border Patrol chief, and some agents, according to CNN, are expected to leave Minneapolis on Tuesday. So this is about them leaving Minneapolis. Let's see if it has anything about him being demoted or retiring. Was updated 2 hours ago. So top Border Patrol official Gregory Bovino and some of his agents are expected to leave Minneapolis on Tuesday and return to their respective sectors, according to 3 sources familiar with discussions, sidelining a key player in the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. The move comes after Donald Trump announced he was dispatching the White House border czar Tom Homan to Minneapolis in the wake of Saturday's fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen. The White House has said Homan is expected to manage immigration and custom enforcement operations in the city. So have you guys seen the post from Trump talking about his conversation with Tim Walz?
No.
With who?
Tim Walz?
With Governor Walz.
I didn't see the post. I heard that they did have a talk today, though.
Yeah, so Trump is like, oh, I had a great conversation with Tim Walz, and he actually sounds like he wants to achieve something. And well, here, let me find the actual thing. I'll read it for you.
Okay. By the way, if you end up finding a video that you want to share, you can do share screen, and it will show up on camera.
Okay.
You should have access anyhow.
1 second here. Okay, here it is. So Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have had such tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other place that we have quote unquote touched. He put touched in quotes, like every other place that we have touched. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down. But both Governor Walz and I want to make it better.
Honestly, I'll bet you Walz just made fun of him the whole time, and that's Trump's hope.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that Walz is probably being sarcastic to him, and he thinks he's being genuine.
Yeah, well, he just kisses ass. You don't have to mean it, and then you just say, "Yeah, we're gonna report that after you guys were here, crime went way down, and you guys just get the fuck out, and we'll say it was great."
Okay, Grandpa, you got it. You will get the mean old immigrants. Don't you worry about it. Go back to bed.
Oh man, he's such an idiot.
He's such a fucking dumbass.
But the Department of Homeland Security, getting back to Bovino, they suspended Bovino's access to his social media accounts effective immediately. And over the weekend, Bovino had scrapped with lawmakers online responding to their posts on X about the shooting. One official said it was a mutual decision. Some Border Patrol agents are expected to remain in the city. CNN reached out to DHS and for comment. Administration officials were left deeply frustrated this weekend over how Bovino and Secretary Noem handled the fallout over the shooting. According to one official, Trump spent several hours Sunday and Monday watching news coverage and was unhappy by how his administration was coming across. CNN previously reported that Noem was in touch with the White House throughout the day Saturday. Others say that Bovino, who became the face of Trump's immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota, made matters worse by claiming that Pretti intended to massacre federal agents. He sat for an interview with CNN and held a news conference Sunday, but neither appearance tamped down criticism. So aides were also irked that Noem labeled Pretti a domestic terrorist. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, distanced the White House from the terrorist label during Monday's briefing. She did not specifically say that Bovino was departing Minnesota, but she said Homan would be the main point of contact on the ground in Minneapolis, and that Bovino would continue to lead operations nationwide. So, according to that, at that point, he hasn't been demoted yet. There may be more. DHS spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin later posted on X that Bovino had not been relieved of his duties and was a key part of the team. So, and then this article goes on to talk about some past wrongdoings that Bovino had done. But the other part of this is, so that was the CNN version of it. Now I'm going to go to India Times for the international version of Greg Bovino and ICE agents to leave Minnesota amid backlash over Pretti shooting. Here's what happened. So Minneapolis is set to see a scaling back of federal immigration enforcement after the fatal shooting. U.S. Border Patrol Greg Bovino and some of his agents will leave. CBS News source reportedly said that Bovino has been relieved of his command and will depart imminently. So Minneapolis Mayor Frey says that some federal agents will begin leaving the area tomorrow, and I will continue pushing for the rest. Minneapolis will continue to cooperate with state and federal law enforcement on real criminal investigations, but we will not participate in unconstitutional arrests of our neighbors or enforce federal immigration law. Violent criminals should be held accountable based on their crimes they commit, not based on where they are from. There's another article here I was wanting to get from the Hindustan Times, actually, that was more directly addressing the question on whether he was fired or will resign. Seeing if I can find this here.
I think he should get fired out of a cannon into the sun.
Into the sun.
What is that from?
I can't remember.
Is it Futurama or is it like Conan?
You know what that sounds like? It does sound like Futurama.
It's funny, both of us immediately like into the sun.
In fact, that sounds like something Professor Farnsworth would have said. Good news, everyone.
It's a suppository.
Did you watch my video?
Okay, here, I found the article again. Okay, so this is the Hindustan Times. Was Greg Bovino fired as Border Patrol Commander at Large amid immigration crackdown? Here's what we know. Confusion over the status of U.S. Border Patrol official Gregory Bovino intensified amid a high-profile shift in immigration enforcement strategy in Minnesota. Speculation about his removal spread online after reports said Bovino and several agents were preparing to leave. However, DHS has firmly denied the claims of him being fired. On January 27th, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin pushed back against online assertions suggesting Bovino had been removed or that the Border Patrol's Commander-at-Large position had been eliminated. Chief Bovino has not been relieved of his duties, McLaughlin wrote. She added that Bovino is a key part of the team. So, again, that's the same thing we just read. So this is also following the same article, or following the same evidence. The speculation had followed earlier reports which said Bovino and some of his agents were leaving. Some people took that to assume he was being fired. So it may not be the case that he's actually been fired or is resigning. We'll await further updates on that. He certainly should be relieved of his duties. He's certain, the agents that were involved in the shooting have been apparently reassigned to other areas of the country. So they got them out of state so they couldn't face state charges, and they're still at large with the ability to cause more harm. I also, when you watch that video, so you see a bunch of guys jump him, they start smashing his face in with like the blunt end of their bear spray or something.
Yeah.
That's what's going on while the other guy pulls the gun out of his waistband and then immediately somebody opens fire and they shoot him 7 to 10 times. But immediately after this, there's another agent who's clapping his hands like you do after your team scores a touchdown or makes a really good play. Like yeah, let's go team. Like he does one of those right after the shots ring out. Like, yeah, we got him.
There is a in one of the videos, and I don't know if it was like layered on or whatever, or if it was actually in the video, but you can hear someone saying, "This is just like Call of Duty."
Yeah, I have not heard that myself, but I've heard that reported. And this is the thing. So what I'm getting at is you see them coming down. You see the way they aggressively go after him. You see the way they get in his face with him when he's holding up his camera before they shove the woman, and then you see them shove the woman, and he puts himself in between the two of them, and they just start spraying him. What fucking drugs are these agents on?
Meth.
These agents are on some fucking drugs. They're on meth or fucking something. Or some special government, like, military drug that they give you when you're about to go into a firefight where you're probably about to die.
Whippets.
But really, like, they're on, these agents are on fucking drugs. They are on something that's hyping them up and making them extra aggressive. 100%.
I would not doubt at all that I would not doubt at all that it's methamphetamine.
Yeah, like, I'm sure it's using methamphetamine. When like it's probably some proprietary thing our government fucking made for soldiers to, like, go Rambo on fucking people. But
Yeah. I also heard that I want to say that I saw it too, but I'm not entirely sure if I saw it or if I just heard it. But that the initial gunshot you hear, it was after the agent pulls the gun out of the guy's back pocket or wherever he had it holstered, he shot it into the ground, and that's when, like, the series of other shots happened.
Are you saying you saw this, or where did you, or you read this? Or?
I heard someone say it, but I also think I saw a video where they are implying, and I mean, he pulled the gun out, and he was holding it, and he was aiming at the ground, and it looked like it could have gone off, but there was no. There wasn't.
See, I thought
audio.
he grabbed it and, like, held it up, like, grabbed it, like, held it up to be like, hey, I got it, like, look what I got. Like, I thought that's what happened, is he grabbed it and he holds it up and runs off, like, runs across the street holding it in the air. That's what I thought. But again, the video, like, all we can say for sure is that he definitely grabbed it out and had it. Yeah. I didn't see anything where he's the one that fired or accidentally fired. Though in searching tonight, I have seen something about did an accidental gunshot set this off. I'm gonna look up that real quick.
Yeah.
Trying to look this up, but Google doesn't seem to want to Google right now.
Have you tried using Ask Jeeves?
No, because it's not 1998.
Or Alta Vista?
I used to use Dogpile all the time because it would, like, search every search engine.
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear about that
Alta
one.
Vista did that too. Actually, it was like it would search all the other search engines.
So according to this Fox News article, the Department of Homeland Security is investigating whether U.S. Border Patrol agents thought they were being fired upon when they shot Alex Pretti. So the New York Post reported that an accidental discharge of Pretti's pistol, which was being held by an agent after it was taken away from him, may have made authorities believe their lives were in danger. Pretti, who we know now is a U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs ICU nurse, was fired upon around 10 times and died at the scene. Officials initially said Pretti was brandishing the weapon as federal officers were conducting immigration enforcement operations. It was 100% an accidental discharge by the agent that relieved that person of their weapon. Because everyone's guns are out, they think that there's a shooting, one source told the Post. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said Pretti violently resisted and that the agents were fearing for their life. Footage of the incident shows an agent disarmed Pretti shortly before he was killed. He entered into the initial scuffle with agents as he tried to assist another protester. Sources familiar with the investigation told the newspaper that the agents involved were overworked and not trained to deal with protesters or types of confrontation they have endured while going about their duties. None of those agents should have had their guns out. It's a confluence of them being asked to do enforcement work that they are not trained for. All of this is avoidable. None of this should be happening. So apparently there is somebody saying that an accidental discharge happened, but this is right now just a New York Post claim about somebody saying it. So we don't have good verification yet. The New York Post is not trustworthy, and if they're not naming the person who said it, or if there's no other analysis to go along with it, I take it with a grain of salt for now, but it's something to keep an eye on, and we'll see how the investigation plays out. But yes, you're absolutely right, Todd. You heard what you thought you heard.
Okay. And and when I heard that, they were showing a clip, and it looks. I mean, he was holding it down. He pulled it out. He may have put it up. Hey, I got it. But then he held it down. So
Okay.
because that's what you should do anyway. You shouldn't be waving a gun around. You should be holding it
Right.
down
Exactly.
to the ground, and in case it accidentally goes off, kind of thing.
So, but yeah, that's the thing that my takeaways from this is that this has to be a turning point. There was no doubt that this was a wrongful. There was no absolutely no justification for this whatsoever. The GOP is demanding a real investigation here, so maybe we actually get one. Hopefully, the state can still put together an adequate investigation so that no matter what the federal government says, the state can either verify it or contradict it, and we'll be able to start cross-referencing points and facts and make our own conclusion from there. Having both sides do as honest an investigation as possible will be better for everyone.
Right.
And hopefully Bovino is out of town, not to return. But we just, we got to survive. We got to stand. We got to be there for each other. If we have to go out in the streets and take this on ourselves, that's something we have to do. We have to have solidarity with everyone that is standing up against the authoritarian class. And it's real. I can't believe it's real in our time, but we're living it right now. We are in the authoritarian takeover. They're shooting citizens in the streets. It is time. Like, it's time for a general strike, like they did in Minnesota. It's time. Whatever your recourse is in the time of authoritarians, it's time.
Yeah.
And that's all I got for that. That's all I really got to say about that for this week.
All right.
Yeah, we're in a dark place right now.
Is it time for the palate cleanser?
I could use my palate cleansed, yes, sir.
All right, let's do this.
Welcome to What's Geek this week. Your go-to for the coolest in pop culture category news. Let's dive in.
All right. Moving the wrong slider. Hold on, there we go. All right. Almost muted you guys and not the music. So yeah, there's a few things I have in What's Geek this week. First thing is, it looks like Turner Classic Movies is going to be the new home for Looney Tunes. So hopefully that means they're going to have all of the Looney Tunes and not just the ones that were still left on HBO Max. This was reported by Nerdist.com. It says here, Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, shorts from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s weren't in heavy rotation. Weren't in heaven rotation. I think it's supposed to be heavy rotation on somewhere on TV. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and the rest of the zany assortment of characters were part of the shared DNA of kids everywhere. That has largely changed as television changed, and the OG shorts became harder and harder to find unless you had physical media. They no longer even appear on HBO Max, Warner Brothers' own dang streaming service. Luckily, another Warner Brothers entity, Turner Classic Movies, has picked up the shorts as their ongoing television home. So that's good. Because I know that a couple years back, or right after the merger with fucking Discovery, they decided to remove like half the catalog of Warner Brothers animation content as far as the Looney Tunes are concerned.
Right.
So it's good to hear that they have a place. So I think Turner Classic Movies is still that's part of HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, you'll still be able to find them. You just have to click on that instead of I think it was before it was on Cartoon Network or boomerang. But so each of these shorts, 45 in all, will lead into thoughtfully curated feature films, as is TCM's bag. So Rabbit of Seville from 1950 and What's Opera Doc 1957 will set up A Night at the Opera from 1935. Tortoise Beats Hare from 1941, Tortoise Wins by a Hair 1943, and Rabbit Transit 1947 will lead to Walk, Don't Run from 1966. And it goes on to saying a bunch of other movies and shorts. So that's cool. I'm glad to see that they're bringing them all back, and people will still be able to watch them. So, all right. Next story here is another trailer or a clip from Supergirl has been released, showing more of Jason Momoa as Lobo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who Lobo is, but he is kind of a badass. He's a intergalactic bounty hunter. Thinks highly of himself quite a bit. I've only seen him in animation, so
It's interesting to me that there'd be an intergalactic bounty hunter. Like aren't there enough talented people in each galaxy that like they have their own like you gotta change galaxies?
I mean, there's got to be some things that even the Green Lantern Corps doesn't do. Like
Lobo's a badass too. Lobo is incredibly powerful.
He can hold his own against Superman.
Yeah, I like Lobo. Lobo is one of my favorite comic book characters, actually.
Yeah. And actually, I think the first on-screen non-animated version was on the Krypton TV series, but I didn't see that. I heard about it, but I was like I never watched that show. So, and Krypton was essentially the same thing as Gotham. It was like before Superman was Superman, and before Batman was Batman. Those shows kind of are the stories leading up to when the thing that makes them who they are happens. So, but yeah, this let me see if I can get this to. If I can get it to pull up on the screen here. Go to the call. Share screen. Here we go. You guys should be able to see it on the call now, and everyone should be able to see it on. Well, hold up.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. Damn it. Of course. I need to fix.
Please
this.
stand by.
Please stand by, because Todd has made some adjustments, thinking that we weren't ever going to need to worry about having the full screen of that. Okay. Get that. Gotta resize the thing for the call. And here we go. Boom. All right, now that I have it on screen, I'm going to hit play on YouTube.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well for you guys.
What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Krypton didn't die in a day. Gods are not that kind.
Oh, he's such a...
I like Lobo. I can't wait to see Lobo.
Oh yeah, no, that's when I first heard that he was going to be playing Lobo. I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
It's a much better use. It's much better use of him than Aquaman.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like Aquaman, just like I get their attempt to sort of redeem him and make Aquaman cool, but he just comes with so much baggage. He's just been the lamest superhero for our entire lives. Like he has.
people just misunderstand him. He's not the lamest. He's actually pretty strong. He's just
Family Guy buried him. Family Guy absolutely buried him.
I mean, they essentially saying that actually Family Guy didn't bury him. Robot Chicken buried him. Robot
Was it
Chicken did,
Robot
yeah,
Chicken?
Robot
yeah,
Chicken
yeah.
did that. It's like, come on, guys, I can talk to fish. That whole thing.
Well, didn't Family Guy do one with him where like it was implied that he was like having sex with all the fish?
Probably, but no, I don't think I ever saw that actually. But I do remember like there was an episode of Robot Chicken where it was like a spoof on the Real World on MTV where it was the Justice League, and Aquaman was like the lame roommate, and he's like trying to feed the fish, and the fish are hiding. He's like, I know you can hear me, come out, that kind of thing. So. But yeah. All right. The next thing I have here is the Masters of the Universe trailer has dropped, and people are losing their shit because there's a sequence in the trailer where you see Adam is living on Earth. I guess his parents did a Superman, send him to Earth to keep him safe. And his name is Adam Glenn with 2 N's, and on his nameplate on his desk is a he/him, and people are losing their shit over that. And the first time I heard about this, the guy was like, "It's a dumb joke, you guys. It's not a woke thing. It's a stupid joke thing. He-man, he/him should be obvious." But yeah, I saw the trailer and it was a significant part of my childhood. I did like He-Man, but it's not like one of my huge fandoms. So when I saw the trailer for this, it's like, this looks like what we should have gotten back in 1987. with the original movie that came out, which was He-Man in name only. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. I think people are getting butthurt over that one dumb joke in the trailer.
I'm a little bit unsure of how it looks. Like, if it's gonna look a little soft, like soft focus, kind of made for TV almost.
I don't know.
That's my concern.
The trailer I saw, I watched it on my 60-inch TV, so it looked pretty epic. There was a montage of him as He-Man kicking ass and taking names, but there was also a lot of the stuff leading up to that. So I don't think we're going to see him as He-Man for the entirety of the movie. I suspect it's going to be like the first half of the movie is him on Earth and him finding out that he's not from Earth or something, and then looking for his sword triggers people from Eternia to come to Earth looking for him, and the bad guys from Eternia coming looking for him. And so I don't know. It looks like it could be, at the very least, it will be entertaining to say the least. It will be something that will make me not be bored for 2 hours.
I'm already calling a Barbie / He-Man eventual movie.
You know what? Barbie was actually a really funny movie. I wouldn't be sad. I wouldn't be angry with that. I think that was...
Barbie was excellent.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was good. It also was a commercial success. So I'm assuming they're going to do that.
So funny.
If He-Man does good, I guarantee you they're going to do a crossover movie.
I mean,
was He-Man Mattel?
Yeah. He was, but both of them are now part of Hasbro.
Sure, because Hasbro owns all the toys now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. All of my childhood is owned by Disney and Hasbro. So
I can't believe I still remember who owned those toys.
I had He-Man. I had
my sister and Barbie. I didn't really have He-Man stuff.
I was too young for He-Man.
I mean, I was the right age. I was like 8 or 9 when He-Man was.
Yeah, I have like one He-Man action figure, and I always hated it.
I liked Dino Riders.
I remember
that.
I remember that, but I never watched the cartoon, and I never got any of the toys. So
it was only around for like a year or two, but I had all the toys. I was so into Dino. Yeah, I was so into dinosaurs as a kid. It was right up my alley. It was like,
Oh, I forgot about that show. I was really into that show. I could
yeah,
see the
remember?
the opening credits now, the opening
So
montage.
so He-Man or Masters of the Universe is going to be coming out in June of this year on the 5th. Um, and let's see what else is here. Oh yes, and I skipped ahead. I skipped a story. Let me go back to this one. Uh, in the next few weeks, we're going to see on Disney Plus and I think also on ABC a pilot episode for a revival. Actually, oh wait, no, it's coming. It's coming in next week. It's on February 4th. Um, next, not this coming Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Um, Disney Plus and ABC will have the Muppet Show return, and it looks like it looks like the original series as far as like the set and all the puppets look right and sound right, with the exception of Kermit. I think his voice is a little weird, but that's because the guy who does Kermit now has only been doing it for like a couple of years now. I think his voice is a little too deep. His his uh his voice should be a little bit up here and not down here. You know.
Maybe Kermit's been smoking.
Yeah, he's been smoking cigars with Lobo. Um,
There's the crossover we really need. Forget Masters of the Universe and Barbie. We need the Muppets and the DCU.
I mean, it would more likely happen with the MCU than the DCU, but yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
Maybe that's part of Secret Wars. Is there'll be a Muppet dimension.
Oh man, that would be amazing. It says the new series brings in modern stars and sensibilities, but is very much capturing the classic tone and fun of the original series. The original series featured on any number of sketches featuring your favorite Muppets, and also featured special guest performers, which included names like Steve Martin, Julie Andrews, and more. This time around, Carpenter, Rudolph, and Rogen will be in the mix throughout the special. The original series came to a close in 1981. Really? 81? What? That doesn't sound right to me, because it started in like the late 70s. Okay. And while the Muppets have been featured in a number of different projects over the years under the Disney banner, there has yet to be a concept that truly captured the Muppet Show magic. Yeah, because they weren't trying to do the Muppet Show; they were doing other people's shit. With the return of the series proper in form of a special, this seems like the best opportunity to change that. I mean, did you guys see the last series that they did? It was called The Muppets, and it was basically like The Office.
No, I completely missed that.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
I might try it out.
It's basically the show was Miss Piggy had a talk show, and everything happens behind the scenes, and it's all the craziness of the Muppets would be behind the camera. And then, of course, they would have the confessional sequences where they would talk to the camera and tell about what just happened and all this stuff. I don't like the Office, never have, and I was disappointed by that show. So.
Well, that's in line with it being like The Office, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, no, it was yeah, no, it like fucking Gonzo was like Rainn Wilson Williams or whatever his name is, his character.
Oh, so it was literally like a 1-for-1 type of deal.
Yeah, all the characters were very similar to other, I mean, that's the way it appeared to me. I could be wrong because I didn't like it from the very beginning. I was like, oh, this is like The Office. This is gonna be dumb. And yeah, so this new revival of the original Muppet Show will be on Disney Plus, and I think the next day on ABC on February 4th, 2026. So like next Wednesday. I'm excited.
All right.
I'm excited. All right. The last story I have here for What's Geek this week is a story about Gotham, as I mentioned earlier. 7 years later, a forgotten Batman actor admits this DC story ended too quickly. I agree. That show was actually really good. I enjoyed it. I liked how they presented all the be the Batman's rogues gallery. Like the Penguin was perfect, the Riddler was perfect. Solomon Grundy was a little weird, but it was all right. But yeah, the show I'm talking about is Gotham. It was on Fox.
This is the one that starts out with them as kids.
It starts off is Bruce Wayne is like 8 or 9 at the beginning of the series, or maybe closer to 12. Maybe it says here 10. So he was probably 8 or 9.
My parents actually watched this show.
Yeah, no, it was actually really good.
Like religiously.
I didn't think I was gonna like it because it felt like it was borrowing heavily from Smallville, which was basically Superman before he was Superman. And it's like they're gonna end the show and he's gonna put on the bat cowl and he's gonna be fighting bad guys and stuff. And that's kind of what they did. It says here though, one forgotten Batman actor wasn't happy with how this story ended, and felt that the show needed a lot more time to flesh out the final reveals. Batman has been around for 87 years, and he has been in television shows and movies for much of the last 6 decades. Some of the shows are beloved classics like Adam West in The Cape Crusader, and others were critically beloved darlings, such as the prestigious Batman the Animated Series with Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher, Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder, and Matt Reeves movies. Every depiction of the Batman remains unique and stands on its own. However, one of the most overlooked versions of Batman came in the Fox television series Gotham, which ran from 2014 to 2019. While the show has a lot of fans, which makes sense because it ran for 5 seasons, the actor who played Batman feels it ended too quickly and needed more time before its finale aired. David Mazouz played a young Bruce Wayne, spoke to Cinema Blend, and he said that the final episode didn't make the connection it could have because of the show ending too soon. Apparently, they superimposed his face over a stunt actor, which made him look older. I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense now because it was like he didn't grow that much in 5 years. It felt rushed to me because of that. It inherently was because the final episode takes place 10 years later after the second to last episode. So everyone's aged up. Mazouz said, everyone looks different in the show. To me, it was a little bit of fan service. The other option is just having the show stay on for another 10 years and just seeing everybody actually age, which would have been better. But if you only have one episode to do it, yeah. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max. It's worth watching. Like I said, I mean, I think I've heard Brandon say he liked that version of the Penguin, which was pretty spot on as far as like all the versions I've seen.
I'm sorry, which version? I was
Gotham.
reading something. Oh yeah. I did like that version. I like the version of a lot of characters in that one.
Yeah, I think he was really good. I think I still believe that guy who played Riddler in that series should play Riddler again in the DCU.
It just super jumped the shark. Like by the time that series ended, it was so fucking wild. Like the storyline got so out of pocket. It started as almost a cop show.
Yeah.
And then it got weirder and weirder and weirder. By the time the last episode aired, like I want to say Gotham was taken over by like all the criminals, and there was like the Penguin shooting like a Thompson at the crowd. It was just like, okay, this is done.
Yeah, it went from being like the Matt Reeves Batman to it being like Joel Schumacher's Batman. It was
like more like Tim Burton, more like the Tim Burton Batman. Yeah. Honestly, that's how abstract and weird it got by the end.
Yeah,
I loved it in the beginning.
Yeah, No, it was it started off really slow, and I was like, okay, this will be entertaining, and it had actors I recognized, and it was entertaining. And then I don't know, I kind of started liking it when we started seeing more of the Rogues Gallery showing
Yeah,
up.
no, I love the take on the Riddler. I love the take on the Penguin. I like seeing up all the other guys pop up here and there. I just made note it was not a Batman show. It was a show about Gotham. It was not a Batman show
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
It was a show about where Batman grew up, and like we also got to see like uh Selena Kyle as a preteen and as a teenager as well,
Yeah,
and Pamela Isley as well.
yeah, you guys see a lot of the characters eventually. A lot of the Rose Gallery. Actually, a lot of it you see even hear their names here and there. I mean, Zaz was in it. Zaz was cool in in that show too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Victor Zaz. Yeah, he was played by that guy who was um, Metamorpho in the Superman movie.
Actually, come to think of it, I actually did really like Zaz in that series. He was more like an assassin in that show, but still very cool.
Actually, I think I liked him in that better than I did like him in Barry. Barry had him being kind of a goofball, but
I've never seen Barry. I've seen a lot of a lot of clips, but I've never seen the show myself,
oh, dude,
like an actual episode.
it. I wasn't sure I was gonna like the show based on what I was hearing about it, so I watched like the first episode and then I got hooked. But the guy who plays Zaz in was like a Chechen, I think, mafia guy or whatever it was, and so he had a weird accent the whole time. So, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'm fairly certain it's on HBO Max. You can watch the entire series there. If you like Batman and you didn't watch it on TV back in the day, you can watch it there.
I see this. There's a guy saying it ended too soon. I disagree. That the last did you watch the last episode? It was so that last scene. I was just like, what? What?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was essentially
fell
the same
so
as
far.
the last episode of Smallville, where you see like all the shit's going down, and they pan up to see him standing on the rooftop in the bat outfit, and you kind of see his face in there, but not really. I figured it was probably a body double back then, but that's kind of what they do.
In Smallville?
Yes,
You see Batman in Smallville?
no, I'm talking about the end of Gotham, but they did the same thing in Smallville, where at the very end of the episode, all the shit's going on, and Clark rips open his shirt to show the blue and red and yellow S on his chest, and then you see somebody flying away. You don't see the actor who plays Clark in the series in the outfit, but you see Superman fly away.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why the actor wanted the show to keep going was because he wanted to
He wanted to be Batman.
Yeah, he
Hey,
wanted
Todd.
to be Batman, but
Yeah,
I'm being told our stream is down.
down.
What?
No. Where are they watching it?
YouTube.
Okay, well, let me take a look. It looks like the stream finished for some reason. I don't know why that happened. We're still streaming. We're still streaming over on Twitch and over on YouTube, or excuse me, over on Facebook. So
Fair enough. All right, just thought I'd let you know in case there was something going on.
yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. What the hell? Can I get it to restart? I don't know if I can get it to restart.
It's all right. We're almost done here, and we're gonna post the whole thing when it's done. So
Yeah.
So, all right. So then I think that was the last story for What's Geek this week. So now we go over to Am I the Asshole?
all right.
AITA. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Ha, ha, ha. AITA. I'm a petty person, okay.
All right. So, you want to go do yours first, Doug, or?
Yeah, I can do my story first. We'll see how long it takes.
Yeah.
So here we go. So, am I the asshole for not giving my sister my old game console, even though she really wants it for her kid? So, what are your first impressions, just based off the headline?
Sounds like maybe he upgraded to a PS5 and his sister wants him to give his old system to his nephew.
How old are we thinking these people are?
I can't even.
I don't know.
I mean, the sister has a kid, so
It depends
everyone
on which-
are they both adults here?
I would imagine the guy who has upgraded and the sister wants his old system is probably in his 20s or 30s, and the kid is probably like an 8 or 9-year-old.
Okay, so here we go. So OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. So the post was deleted, but we've got some clips here. My sister asked me to give my old first edition Nintendo Switch to her 7-year-old son because they can't afford one. It has sentimental value to me from my college days. I said no, but offered to lend it any time or help find a used one for his birthday. She got upset and called me selfish, saying I care more about a dusty object than my nephew's happiness. My mom agrees with her. And then I'm conflicted because while it's my property, refusing a gift to a kid in a tight spot might make me the asshole. What do we all think?
Absolutely not the asshole.
No, he is not an asshole.
So I definitely think like the fact that he offered to help find a used one is something.
Yeah.
I don't know their family history enough to know whether like does he owe her one, right? Like should like is this a tradition in their family, like hand me downs? Has he received his share of hand me downs? That kind of thing. Maybe is there any reason like does he actually use this Nintendo Switch anymore? It kind of
doesn't
sounds
matter
like
if
maybe he doesn't.
It doesn't matter if he uses it or not. It's his, and if he doesn't
But
want to give it up.
oh, suddenly somebody's got strong property values, huh?
Yeah.
I agree that like you can't force him to give it up, um, but there could be some selfishness there with like
Great.
you're if you have your own and you don't
And
want to help your nephew out, there could be
I-
something there.
Yeah, he is offering to help them out. He
Yeah,
is.
and I think that kind of squashes I think any sort of like real angle I could really want to take here.
Like,
Yeah.
no, like she just wants a free one. That's the problem.
Yeah. Which I mean, you're sounding a little bit like Han now.
No,
I mean,
I just shit with you.
It is
she'd be the one saying she wants a free one, and I need a free one.
it is an expensive console though. Those things are like $400. You know, if you get one, one of the better ones anyway. Like I had the OLED one. I got it at Costco.
Also, I have a $4,000 PC, so thank you. I already paid for my shit, and yeah, I paid for my
Yeah,
so
yeah.
no. Don't try that.
Also,
with
if
me.
the kid was older, like if the kid was like 14 and never had a game console, and it's like we just can't afford one, can you please? Like,
Yeah.
but he's
Still-
7. 7-year-olds aren't entitled to any video games. Like
No.
my 7-year-olds had video games at 7, and probably was a mistake.
7-year-olds aren't likely to keep it in good working order either.
Oh no, my older stepson actually had a Switch that he was given by his uncle, and he destroyed it within a year.
Yeah.
How?
So I don't blame this guy just not wanting to give it to a 7-year-old, let alone any other details. Just I don't blame him for like a 7-year-old's too young to handle my shit. All right, Todd, you want to do your story?
Yeah, let me open that up here. All right, let's see. Am I the asshole for telling 2 old ladies to eat at home? What? I was eating at a chain breakfast diner with my friend today. The restaurant wasn't super busy, but it was maybe half full. My friend and I get seated in a row in the booth behind the 2 old ladies. Right as we sit down, even before waitress comes to take our orders, these old ladies begin complaining to each other about our volume and how I'm leaning too much on the booth seat and making it wobble. Fine. I sit slumped forward. It's the least I could do, and it's not that hard of an ask. I don't think I'm being very loud, just talking regular as opposed to whisper. It's a diner, not a black tie steakhouse. The waitress takes our order, and my friend and I began talking about work, about games, just chatting. On and on, these ladies are complaining over to each other. We're too loud. We shouldn't be talking at such volume in public. Don't kids, we're in our 30s, mind you, don't know about volume and politeness in public. Their waitress comes over and they say everything is good. Then talk about how they should ask to be moved, how the food is taking too long. Why won't we stop talking while we're eating? It's been maybe 30 minutes nonstop of them complaining, but they never turn around to ask us anything. They just never mention anything to the waitress, just saying how rude some young people and women are, how we can't behave in public and be ashamed of ourselves. It says here, 30 minutes go by and we get our check first, pay, stick around to talk more. It's fun being in a diner and chilling with my friend. We don't see each other often. These old ladies get mad. We don't leave after paying. How dare we stay to keep being so loud? They get their check. Their waitress asks if there's anything else. They say no and get up to leave. I stand up and introduce myself to them and let them know I didn't appreciate being insulted through my entire meal. If they wanted somewhere quiet to next time, ask to be moved, ask us to be quiet or go home. Of course, they just say if we want to be loud to go home. I say that we were being loud. It's fine to have conversations in public. It's just incredibly rude to talk about the person you're sitting right behind and insult them for an hour. Tell them goodbye and just sit back down. My friend thinks I was in the right, since they also felt we weren't being loud. The waitress and the restaurant workers were confused because they hadn't noticed anything. Also thought we weren't being loud. I'm really just here to see if it was appropriate for me to tell them to eat at home, if they wanted a private, quiet meal next time, or if it's just social blunder. Was I the asshole here?
No.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Stood up for himself.
I'm wondering if the young people were people of color or they weren't white. Maybe that's why the two old biddies were bitching and whining the whole time.
No, likely.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible.
It wasn't mentioned, so like I just that's kind of where I'm thinking, is that maybe that's why they're being like, you're being loud.
Or maybe that's just what these old biddies do. Is that's their entertainment? Is they go to the diner and complain about everyone. They're like the two old men from the Muppets, Statler and Waldorf,
Yeah.
or whatever their names are.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's right.
Oh, I got it right. Good. I don't try to be right all the time. It just works out that way.
But yeah, I was trying to find a good one too, and I figured that might be a good one. But all the comments in here are all saying NTA, not the asshole.
Yeah, I think this one's a unanimous. Like you gotta like I could definitely see a lot of people letting it go and not confronting the couple afterwards. But bravo to them for doing it.
There is one comment that says, "I'm a server, and customers who stand up to other rude customers when we can't are heroes," in capital letters.
Exactly.
Thank you for your service.
Exactly what I'm saying. And speaking of standing up, I mean, that just ties back into what Alex Pretti was doing when he was executed. Was he was standing up for
Yeah.
his fellow man, in this case, a woman, but he was standing up. Just being there, being an observer, he was standing up for all of us.
Yeah.
And when he tried to protect that woman, he was trying to protect all of us. And he gave his life for a country that he loves a whole hell of a lot more than Christy Nome or Greg Bavino or Donald fucking Trump. And, that's the thing we got to remember is all of us that are mad about what's going on, all of us that are standing up for this, all of us that know it's wrong, that's because we love this country more than those other motherfuckers do. And
Yeah.
and that's how we're going to go about this, and that's what we're going to keep fighting for, because we're not done with this country yet. Like Morgan Freeman says in Seven, the world is a good place and worth fighting for. I don't know about the first part, but I agree with the latter.
Yeah. Agreed.
And with that, guys, thanks for listening, everybody. Brandon, thanks for toughing it out with your voice.
Yeah.
Todd, thanks as always for running the board and making this all happen and getting it out to the people. And we'll see everybody next week with hopefully some better news.
Yes. Oh, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
No.
No, I think we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't try to fix what fuels this